Hello and welcome to the Homeowner Prep Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Halan, and this podcast was created to provide real-world advice and accountability for first-time homebuyers. We'll be interviewing industry experts, providing some how-tos, and talking with first-time homebuyers about their personal experiences. If that sounds interesting to you, please be sure to subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the little bell to be notified when new episodes release. Now let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Homeowner Prep Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about a subject that is going to be loosely based on the home buying process, but more importantly, it's going to be a lesson to learn for life and just achieving goals in general. And what we're talking about is how to overcome obstacles, and specifically how to overcome obstacles in the home buying process. You know, buying a house is not a smooth ride. You know, and to be totally honest with you, there's going to be bumps in the roads. There's going to be some highs, some lows, whether you're trying to get qualified, whether, you're submitting offers or even in the escrow, and it's one of the reasons why agents tend to not celebrate any aspect of the process until you actually get the keys in hand, because we know that there's a lot that can happen and take place. But today we're going to be talking about the obstacles that may arise and then how to overcome them, because it's important that you're prepared ahead of time. Again, I want to give you, a realistic view of what to expect, not to be pessimistic about it, but just to let you know, things may arise that you're going to have to get through, and part of getting through those things will help you get to the finish line and eventually get the keys in hand. So for, overcoming these obstacles, really what I want to talk about as the beginning of that process would be, what's my why? Why am I so interested in buying a house? Why am I so interested in achieving a particular goal? Because the home is just the goal, right? So if you take the time to really figure out why am I going after this, it'll help you when you come across these obstacles, when you come across these hurdles in the buying process. So, if you focus on the why, and you have something to reflect on, then it'll be easier for you to now get through. And we'll talk about, getting through and the purpose of that. But, if you don't have a strong enough why, it's not going to work. And so really take some time, sit down, write out some things. Why is it that you want to buy a home? We have different guests that come on. We're going to have home buyers, first-time home buyers that had different whys. And you'll see that maybe you connect with one of them, or, maybe your why is a little bit different, but they all had a why. They all had something that they can lean on when they're coming up against those, challenges and those obstacles. So, what is your why? And then how often do you reflect on it? As you're going through the pre-approval process, maybe, you just paid off a credit card and your credit score went down 50 points because you paid it off, right? Now you're like, hold on, that didn't make sense. Why did that happen? And maybe that makes it a little bit tougher for you to get the best rate. So, going back to that why and say, you know what, at the end of the day, I can get a rate that I can pay this mortgage. And when the time comes, I can refi to get an even better rate instead of, trying to wait until your credit builds back up because you really don't know how long that can take. So, reflect on that why, reflect on it often, and make sure that it's strong enough. The next thing you can do to overcome obstacles is to change your perspective of the obstacle. What I mean by that is take a mindset shift from looking at what's in front of you and look at why it's in front of you. Why am I going through this challenge right now? Oftentimes when you're facing some type of trial or situation, overcoming that trial is really where the win is. It's really where you feel the most gratitude. And so if you change your perspective to say, okay, I see an obstacle in my way, but I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm going to overcome this obstacle. Just changing your perspective to say, I'm glad this obstacle is in front of me. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but when you realize that the obstacle is the way, the obstacle leads you to the path to achieving a particular goal or becoming a homeowner, then you'll learn to celebrate the obstacles. There's actually a great book that I read by Ryan Holiday, and it's called The Obstacle is the Way. So the obstacle is the way is really talking about those trials and seeing them from a different perspective, seeing them as a problem to solve. If you realize, most businesses that are created, most products or services that are created, they fix a problem, and so there's a problem that needs to be solved. They created a company to fix that problem or to solve that problem, and now they have a very successful business. If you take that into perspective of your life and of buying a home or achieving a particular goal, you may see the problem and say, okay, this is the problem. Once I solve this, I'm going to be well on my way. I'm going to be well prepared. I'm going to be, educated and experienced to deal with this particular issue. And then I can turn around and help others deal with it in the future. Maybe you have a family member who wants to buy a house or wants to achieve a particular goal. You'll have the knowledge and the experience and now some expertise on how to get through that obstacle. So it's very important to just change your perspective, see an obstacle as a way to find triumph in the trials. So that's a great resource, a great book. I definitely recommend you read it. We'll make sure that we drop a link in our descriptions. But, change that perspective, see the obstacle as the way, and really celebrate the fact that you are facing obstacles along this journey. The third way to overcome obstacles is to just keep going. Just keep pushing through. Coming up against an obstacle is not a red flag. Like I said, when you have the perspective and the knowledge of knowing that these things are sure to come, that there will be bumps in the road, then when they show up, you're not as surprised, right? And it'll inspire you and motivate you just to keep going. Oh, I knew this was coming. Here it is. Now let's get through it. Maybe as you're buying a house, your agent has prepared you for different things that may arise, or you're getting qualified to buy a home, and your loan officer has let you know, hey, here's some things that could come up, be on the lookout for this or avoid these things. So that way when they show up, then you know exactly what to do and you can keep pushing through. So don't be afraid to keep going. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and transparent and let, people know what you're facing, because just sharing that knowledge with others may produce a result where somebody may have a solution or may give you some type of information that can really help you put a solution to a problem that you're facing. So, share it, be transparent, be vulnerable as you're on this path of achieving a goal or on this path of buying your first home. So in closing, I really want to make sure that you're finding out what are the obstacles that you're facing, making sure that you're going to change your perspective when they arise. Okay, I see it. Here's how we're going to overcome it. And then to make sure that you just keep going. Use your brain, really start thinking about what are some ways that I can create a solution to this problem that's going to be a win-win-win. For instance, if you were buying a home and let's say you did your inspections and there's issues with the home. Trust me, there's going to be issues with the home. Every home has issues. Even brand new construction has issues. So you have to decide what are the issues that you're going to deal with yourself and what are the issues that you want the seller to take care of. Maybe they fix them or they give you a credit for them, right? So maybe you have a request to fix some issues in the house. And the seller is saying, well, you know what? We're not going to fix that. You're going to have to fix it yourself. Well, now you're at a stalemate. You're like, okay, well, they're not going to fix it. I don't want to fix it. What's the best way of, solving this problem? And so coming together with your agent, your loan officer, and really developing a win-win-win scenario. Maybe there's some credits that the agent can give you. Maybe there's credits from the lending side. Maybe there's things that can be done to make sure that those things get taken care of and the seller isn't paying for them, but at the end of the day, they're getting done before you move in. Or maybe they get done after you move in, right? So just take some time, brainstorm, gather the folks around you. Again, be transparent and vulnerable. Let them know, here are the issues that we're facing. How do we get to a win-win-win solution? So really take the time to think about that, put it together, and put it into action. I really hope that you got some information today that is going to help you not only with buying a house, really this information is just about overcoming obstacles in life. There are things that you're going to have as you live this thing we call life, as you're trying your best to attain goals for you and your family. And these are ways to change your perspective, to really look at obstacles as a good thing. look at them from a perspective of here's something that I can overcome, be stronger, have experience, and some expertise in that I didn't have before. Surround yourself with like-minded people who have that same perspective, and you're going to do great things, and you're going to eventually get to the destination and the goal that you want. If you have any questions, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're always here to help motivate you and encourage you, keep you going. If you're in need of an experienced agent in the area, definitely connect with us. We're part of a network where we have agents throughout the U.S. and Canada that we can connect you with to make sure that you're prepared for the obstacles to come and that you have somebody in your corner to help you get there. I hope you got some valuable information from what we shared today. Be sure to share it with somebody that you know, and I look forward to providing you with some great information on the next episode. Take care. I hope you got some value from today's episode. If you know someone who could benefit from hearing this show, be sure to share it with them. And if you're listening to the podcast, we'd love for you to drop us a review. We'd also love to hear from you if you have any questions. So reach out to us on Instagram at Homeowner Prep. Who knows? We may read your review and answer your question on one of our future shows.